Northern California is a haven for fishermen seeking a variety of different styles of fishing as well as different species of fish to fish for. Some of my favorite locations in the area include Butte Creek, Kimshu Creek, Deer Creek, Battle Creek, and the Huey Pond. Butte Creek and Kimshu Creek are both east of Chico, and they're pretty hard to get to. It takes about an hour and a half to drive out to them. You have to hike for about another hour and a half to get down to them. But once you're there, it's the most beautiful terrain you've ever seen. All the trout are native there because they can't plant that far out, and it makes for really challenging fishing, but really rewarding because they fight really hard. Battle Creek is what I would recommend beginners to start fishing because they do stock that up near Mineral, near Lassen. They stock it pretty heavily, so you see a lot of kids out there just floating power baits, but it's really easy to catch fish, so I recommend this for kids, families, beginners. The Huey Pond is a more skilled location, and that's where my dad and I like to go. The reason it takes a little more skill to fish there is it's really hard to get into, and then once you're there, the fish spook really easy. Because it's a pond and there's a lot of weeds around it, you have to float out on a float tube or a canoe, so trying to find a way to do that without spooking the fish is really hard.
You're fine. Just go through.
Different types of fishing in the area are fly fishing and spin casting. I know nothing about fly fishing, so I'm not going to talk about that at all. But spin casting involves having a rod and reel set up like this, right here, with a reel and a rod. Now, my favorite type of spin casting fishing is creeks versus ponds or rivers. I like the creeks because even if you don't catch anything, you get to hike for a really long time in some of the beautiful terrain in Northern California. So that's why I prefer this type of fishing. Some of the hardships of creek fishing, though, at least in the areas that I creek fish, are it's really hard to get to. Kimshu Creek has Class 5 rapids over the falls, and I'm told that's out of 5 classes, so it's really intense. Hiking out there on slick granite slabs, sometimes totally vertical, are really hard, which means you don't want to have a lot of gear, which is why I carry something this short. This is just over a 4-foot pole, and it makes maneuvering in the bushes and rocks really easy. Also, you'll notice that it's really flexible because you want a sensitive tip when you're dealing with trout that is really small, so you can see them move and snag them real quick. Anyway, some local resources I'd recommend checking out before starting out fishing are the California Department of Fish and Game, because there's so many regulations that if you fish for the wrong fish in the wrong area or you're using the wrong type of hook, you're really likely to get fined pretty heavily. Also, I'd recommend going to the Sportsman's Warehouse and the Fly Shop. A lot of old-timers like to work there on the weekends, and they know everything about fishing in this area, so you can learn virtually anything you want to know based on just talking to those old guys. Northern California has a wide variety of fishing opportunities for those seeking adventure, relaxation, family bonding, or even just dinner.